Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What a day. Welcome back. How's we doing? Welcome back. How we doing? What a day. NVIDIA. Everything. Jeez, man. Jeez. Oh, the Fit Boys are in the building for sure today, man. Fit Boys are in the building. BOIS. Boys. BOIS. Good morning. Yeah, big day yesterday for me. 5-figure day. Jeez, man. Didn't expect that. I did not expect yesterday. And I traded SPX, which is a little aggressive, but hey, felt it right, traded it right. It all came down to this one. This right here. I was very confident in this. So this was really what I was targeting, the breakout of this move. What a day. What a day. I felt confident because the Nasdaq held above that level yesterday. So here's exactly where I started to go long SPX, or where I started to feel confident on it. Right here. Right there. Right there. As we started to turn that 545, 550 into support around, you guys see it's right around 1230, right? Right around that 1230 time. And that's where, that was it. That was also around the same time that the ES started to hold above that downtrend. So it actually lined up pretty well yesterday. Everything sort of lined up pretty damn well. And as soon as that SPY was breaking over that downtrend, it started going wild. But we'll talk about it. TSM, congratulations to the live stream. If you guys come to the pre-market live stream, congratulations on TSM. What a move on that one. Holding that swing trade. Got in yesterday, pretty early morning, just believing in that setup. Like I pretty much said on the live stream, just said it's time to take it. It's time to trust the analysis. You can only do so much analysis. You can't get paralysis by analysis or whatever it's called. You can't analyze so far that you just don't take something, right? So yesterday for me was TSM. It was okay. It's time, right? I can't just not take this. So TSM was great. Congratulations on that one, guys. What a move. I mean, definitely a big break for the Nasdaq. But, right, there's still a but. There is still a but. B-U-T, not B-U-T-T, you sick. The ES is still under 4,200. So that's going to be the key, right? If you really want this market to continue, that 4,200 on ES is going to have to break, right? It's going to have to break, right? We're still under that 4,200. We're still under that 417 on the ES. The ES is going to have to catch some more steam. We're going to need some energy. We're going to need some financial sector bounce for this market to actually continue to move higher. We know the Nasdaq broke out of a key level. There is another level to watch today on the Nasdaq, but we definitely know that 4,200 on ES is going to be critical, right? That's going to be the level that has to break. Without that, nothing's that legit, right? Nothing is that legit until 4,200 breaks on the S&P 500. So after a big move like we saw yesterday, we have to remain objective. We have to remain fluid, right? We have to be able to still look for both sides. We have to understand where the upside supplies are, where we could see rejections, right? If we want to make sure we retain our gains, if we want to make sure we continue to profit in the market, we have to continue to think this way. So, yeah, very excited about yesterday. An awesome day for me. Definitely withdrawing some profits from the account. But, right, you still have to come into today being able to look for both sides, understanding where the levels are, and trading like it's any other day, right? So that's what we're going to do today. That's the key. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. I appreciate you being here once again. If you could, press that like button before we get started. And, yeah. Let's do it. So today I do not have a schedule for us because we're going to look at everything. So we're going to have to get started. We're going to have to go pretty quick. We're looking at all the tech stocks: Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, TSM, Netflix, everything. We're looking at everything because everything is worth looking at after yesterday's move, all right? Everything is worth looking at after yesterday's move. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get this thing going. Economic calendar. Let's pull that up. So, economic calendar today. Today is Thursday, right? We have jobless claims this morning. You guys can see right here, 8:30. We'll keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because we got a lot to look over. We got Fed presidents, more talking heads, existing home sales, and then Fed presidents tomorrow. Powell speaks at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I would be more than happy to not even trade tomorrow, to be quite honest. We'll see what happens tomorrow. 11 a.m. Powell. Don't really feel like getting in the middle of that after a really good week. And, yeah, so 11 a.m. tomorrow. Today, jobless claims. That's about all on that. This morning, we had Walmart report earnings, which I believe were pretty good. I think Walmart is moving slightly higher this morning. Let me go ahead and pop up the earnings calendar here. So here's the earnings calendar. This morning we had Baba, Walmart, some decent sized ones. And then that's pretty much it for the rest of the week. So BABA, a little bit higher. Walmart, higher as well. So two good ones on BABA and Walmart. We'll see how that retail sector moves because of that. So let's jump right in. Nasdaq, what happened yesterday? Why did it squeeze? Why was there big upside? The big upside came after we broke and held above that level we've continued to talk about on this live stream, the 13,550, right? After breaking above this 13,550 area that rejected 5 times back in April of 2022, after we got above this level, there was not much resistance until this 740, right? 740. So you guys can see here, right? 740 and 550 and 13,550. So here's the short term, right? We saw that rejection come in on the Nasdaq at 13,550. Yes, 2 days ago, right? Back on Tuesday, we had that 13,550 rejection. Now into yesterday, we moved into it again, right? And once we turn that 13,550, once we turn that previous day high into a support here around 12 o'clock, and after having a strong move above it, that is where the squeeze ensued, or what's the word? Ensued? Where it continued, where it happened. 13,550 after breaking above that 5-time rejection point back in April, after breaking above yesterday's highs and gaining momentum above it, that is where that upside sort of squeezed. Now, today, right? Let's look at what we need to watch today. Today, we clearly know this 13,630 level is here, right? We can see it in the pre-market. We can see it in the yesterday's pullback, right? Yesterday, we pulled back into 13,630 and sued. Thank you. In the after hours, we held 13,630. And then in the pre-market this morning, 13,630, right? So 13,630 is the level for short-term momentum. This is like your momentum gauge right here. If we come back and we break below 13,630, short-term momentum will probably be starting to turn bearish, right? Short-term momentum may flip if the Nasdaq breaks under this triple bottom here in the short term. This is very short term. Remember that. This is for like today's trading only. If we pull back and we do not hold this 13,630, I would assume short-term momentum starts to get a little bit slippery to the downside, right? And maybe pulls back into some of this upside from yesterday. If we pull back and we hold this level again, right, this is where the bulls stay in control. Above 13,630 is where I believe the bulls stay in control. I would not try to short this Nasdaq I would not try to short this Nasdaq if it is staying above 13,630. I really don't see the reason to try to short into this Nasdaq if it is above this 13,630 level. If you start to get that drop below, if you start to see some weakness below it, then I think you could probably catch a nice downside move, maybe giving back some of this move here, right? And also, right, I want to make sure everyone sort of keeps this in mind on a longer term. Even if we pull back to this 13,550, that is still not a bearish chart, right? If we pull back to that previous high and we hold it again, this move is still not that bearish in the long when we sort of zoom out and think longer term. This could just be the next really nice dip buying opportunity back to the retest that we broke out of yesterday. All right, so yes, I think you could probably catch some downside today if you can play it under 13,630. There's probably some slippery action in this zone here, right? But I would still want to be a short profit taker at the 13,550, all right? Because that is still now a new demand that you have to be careful of on the short side. The other level that I would put on your screen is yesterday's little highs. It's anywhere between this 13,660 and this 13,670 in this little 10-point range here. I would monitor to see how the Nasdaq holds this previous day high, right? So previous day high, keep an eye on that. As of right now, we are above and holding above previous day high. If we pull back to that early morning and we start to hold here, that is still very bullish, right? If we dip below previous day high, then maybe you get your move into the 630, which is still bullish if it holds here, right? If you get a move under 630 and you start to reject it, that is the only place that I think you could attempt maybe some slippery short-term downside, right? Under this yesterday pullback level, pre-market lows and after-hours lows. So 13,630, look for it to either turn into a support again or turn into a rejection. Yesterday's highs around this 13,660 to 13,670. And if we don't do any of that and we just go straight up, pretty much like we saw yesterday, then I would be watching the 13,740. That's the ultimate level here. This zone up here, 13,740. If we go to the daily chart, right, you guys can see right here, 13,740, right? That's the big August high right here. The exact high is 13,740.75. That is the high back in August 16th. Over that, right, if we get more time here, above that level, you really don't have much until this 14,300 level, right? There is not much resistance above this August high right here. So we're right there. So, once again, 13,740, 13,670 to 13,660, yesterday's highs, pre-market support right here at 13,630, and then if we fall under that, you could see that move back into the 13,550. All right, that's the Nasdaq. QQQ, right? Yesterday we got over 330. We got over that major 330 level that we were talking about. So let me get more time here. Let me zoom out. I got to go back. Now, why was 330 important? 330 was that area that the QQQ rejected multiple times, right, back in April. That's equal to our 13,550 level on the Nasdaq futures. So this 330 level right here was equal to Nasdaq 13,550. So yesterday we got above 330. Now the next level to watch is the August high, which is equal to 13,740 on the Nasdaq, right? August high, 13,740 on the QQQ. That is the exact high, 334.42. 334.42 is the exact high from August, and going to be a major level, right? Going to be a major level up here. So today, right, I would watch this little pre-market 331 level, similar to what we're watching on the Nasdaq, this 331, little pre-market after-hour support. If we drop that, I would look for 330. I would not short at 330. That could be a very strong hold level. And then you have this previous day high around 328, right? So there's definitely pullback opportunities here more than I like, looking for shorts, to be quite honest. We've clearly seen the momentum. And so I would look for pullback opportunities, 331. I would look to see what 330 does, and I would look to see what this previous high does if we do get a pullback. Now, of course, there are going to be short-term trades to the downside. You could trade here, of course. But when I think longer term, when I zoom out to the 15-minute, the hourly chart, right, it's sort of hard to fight this trend right now, guys. And if you've been shorting this market, you know that, right? You know it's not easy to short this market right now. So if you want to just sort of stay patient and look for these dip buy opportunities, I don't want to be biased to the long side, but I got to say, if you're going to trade with the trend of the market, I really do believe that pullback opportunities are giving you more opportunity than it is trying to fight this uptrend on the Nasdaq. So watch 331 today in the QQQ, watch 330, and watch that 329, 328 area. That's Tuesday's highs, right? The big level above is that 334.42. Honestly, I think the best trade today is if we get a nice 331 pullback and then see if that holds right there. That would be very, very nice on a 331 pullback. So that's the QQQ. What's the CNBC alert? Nothing. All right, ES. Now this one's the big one, right? Because we know 4,200 still above. This is big, right? We know 4,200 is still above here. 4,200 is that big time psych level. It's that big time rejection level from years ago, right? This level has been important for years. Rejections in the short term at 4,200. That is going to be your major watch today. As long as we are under 4,200, right, we can't get too confident on the S&P 500 continuing. I still think 4,200 needs to break for this move to actually amount to, something legitimate. If we do get a move over 4,200, if we hold above that level, things are probably going to start heating up on the S&P 500. For that to happen, you need XLF and XLE strength. The only way the S&P 500 moves higher over 4,200 is if the energy sector and the financial sector bounce back. Those are going to continue to weigh down the S&P 500. You need to see the XLE and the XLF find some strength. They saw strength yesterday. That's why the S&P likely moved higher. We talked about this in the morning. If these continue, if the XLE and the XLF continue to find strength, that's going to be the necessary move, in my opinion, to get this ES moving. Because the ES is obviously getting the strength from the tech stocks, right? There are tech stocks in the S&P 500. Obviously, there is strength from that. But the thing that's sort of holding it down is the XLE and the XLF. So pay attention to that. Guys, I don't know. You guys got to, I don't agree with, continuing to focus on every bad thing in the market. Pay attention to the technical levels, right? Debt ceiling, this and that and this and that. Debt ceiling, I don't even care about it, right? I just don't. I'm watching the levels, right? The market made a move yesterday based off levels. It had no regard. Maybe you could say Joe Biden's speech yesterday made the market move. Maybe, yeah, sure. But it was all technicals, right? The technicals held up perfectly. So I'm not worried about the debt ceiling. It's just not something I'm that worried about. If the market tanks because of that, then I'll be able to react to it. But I'm not going to not trade my technical levels because I'm worried about some debt ceiling news, right? So 4170, that was the key yesterday, right? And so 4170, after we broke this downtrend on the ES, right? After we broke this downtrend on the ES, you got that big squeeze, right? After we held that 4120 again, right? We pulled back yesterday into 4120, 4125. Why did it hold? Because it held thousands of times before. Not thousands of times, but you can see we held, and yesterday, right? Where did we come down to yesterday? In the morning, we tanked right out of the gates, right? But where did we come down to? We tanked right out of the gates, and we came right into 4125. This is where I started to formulate my game plan on SPX, right? When I saw this move and I saw the ES start to hold that level again, right? I said, I'm going to take a shot because I've seen this before. I'm going to trust my technical levels, right? I know that 4120 to 4125 has held how many times over the last week? As soon as I saw that major dip into that level, I didn't say, all right, I'm going to short into this demand, right? That's not my mindset. It's okay. We just went right back into that low. Do we start to hold that low? And if we do, right, then I'm going to look to see if I could play some SPX here and look for that eventual move to the upside. I wouldn't have expected this squeeze. Of course, I got the squeeze. I was in it the entire time. So that's why I was able to profit so much on this play. I was really just looking for maybe a move back in the high a day. But yeah, what a squeeze over that downtrend, right? Held that 4120, 4125 again. Perfect demand hold, as we've been talking about. Beautiful demand hold there, and a big squeeze to the upside. Now, what is the key that is happening this morning? What is the key that happened yesterday and this morning? The key that we are seeing as of right now is the hold of 4170, right? 4170, right there. That is crucial. That is very similar to that level on the Nasdaq we talked about where that momentum has to stick. If we hold above this 4170, if we hold above this 4170 here and this 4170 here, right there, right? If we hold above that, which we are right now, then I would stay looking for this as an opportunity for more upside. So I would look for that. If we have that previous high, this little double top high, turn into support, then I would look for that upside continuation. We have to watch 4170 today on the ES. Be careful shorting into 4170 on the ES, okay? So watch 4170. If we get under 4170, that is where that momentum can potentially die off, right? That could potentially die off under 4170. That could be your short play. And then you're sort of looking at that 50 and 55 again. You're sort of looking at these previous highs, really. You're just going to monitor these previous highs on these pullbacks. 4160s, 55s, right? Sort of just watching those previous highs. But in my opinion, right, for this move to stick, for this move to stay legitimate, you have to hold over previous highs, right? I don't feel like a upside move is that strong as if we sort of break back under the channel high. All right, if we break back under this channel high, then I'm not that confident on this upside. If we maintain over this channel high, then I am going to remain confident for more upside. So that's how I'm going to play this. 4170 on the ES. On the SPY, I think it's 414. It could be up to like this 414.50, right? So you can sort of have that whole range there. I'd say 414 to 414.50 would be sort of the zone I'd watch here. Let me go ahead and move that up. So anywhere between these highs, right, and this little 414 psych level there, I would say as long as the SPY is above 414 and 414.50, I would be careful shorting into this move, right? Because that is your previous channel high. And if that channel high turns into support, which it did this pre-market, if it pulls back and it holds there again, right, you do not want to be short into that hold right there, right? That's actually where you want to be long, right, on a retest of those previous highs. So look for 414, 414.50 today. See what happens if we get that pullback. If we get that pullback and start to hold, that could result in another dip buying opportunity. If we break back under 414, then again, I'm not that confident on upside continuation. If we start to see this under 414, right, that level in my eyes has to hold there. 414 to 414.50 for this move to stick to the upside. The big level above is still our 417. That's equal to our 4200 on the ES, right? This 417 channel high, the major channel high here, 417. That's going to be crucial. That is equal to our 4200 on the ES. All right? So 4170, 4200, and on the SPY, 414, 414.50 to 417. Those are the levels that I would be paying attention to. Mike Jones went right back into 33.5 yesterday. That's obviously our key level. We've been talking about this level multiple times. So you can see we are rejecting that 33.5 again. If we go to the 4-hour chart, right, we can see 33.5, 33.5, 33.5. We're back at 33.5. So watch out for 33.5 today on the Dow. And the Russell, just like we talked about, right, it's just in a channel. And where were we yesterday? We were at channel lows, and it was just a perfect demand bounce. That's pretty much all that happened, right? The Russell just had a demand bounce off the channel lows, just like it did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times before, right? So another bounce off channel lows, nothing that surprising, right? You buy down here, you most likely make money. You buy here, you most likely lose. You trade calls here, you're probably going to lose, right? So channel low, channel high, we should all be very aware of that. If you come to the live streams, nice upside yesterday off channel low, just a little squeeze. I don't know what happens there, but that was a pretty nice opportunity on that Russell channel low. All right, so that's the futures. Hopefully it makes sense to you. It's pretty much just some if-then statements today. That's how I would approach your day. If above 4170, don't look short. If below 4170, you could look for that downside continuation, right? I'm not going to short a single thing today if the ES is over 4170. That is what I'm going to tell myself. I have no reason to short anything if the S&P 500 is above the channel high. Right? Why would I be looking short if we are breaking out and holding above this previous double top high? If we get back below it, then we have to sort of, what's the word? We have to react, right? We react. We're traders. We react to any move. If we move under 4170 and it looks weak, then we react. All right? Let's run through some stocks because we got a lot to look for. Tesla is the first one we're going over, and 174 is the key level today. All right? 174. If we go to the hourly chart, let me get a little bit more time here. Here it is. So, 174, right? This is a high. This is a high. This is a breakout, a fake breakout. Now we're above 174 again. If we get a pullback to 174 today, I will be looking to see if Tesla maintains that for a move into 180. All right, I need a little bit more time still. There we go. All right, so here's really what I want to show you. All right, if Tesla maintains over 174, right? If Tesla maintains over 174, then I think you continue to that 180 level. 404 Monday, if debt ceiling not fixed, what a waste of time to be paying attention to that, Daniel. You're not going to get anywhere thinking like that, man. I'm trying to be you got to be in the now, right? You got to be what's happening on the market now, what's the opportunity today, where can I trade? Are we bullish? Are we above key levels? We're not going to be formulating our big put idea, because some economic news. It's not going to happen. But yeah, sure. 174. Key level on Tesla, right? That's very key. If we maintain over 174, this double top here, if we maintain over that level, I would assume that turns into a short-term demand, right? That is where we had rejections yesterday. And if we turn that into support today, I would assume that leads to further upside, right? So watch that 174. And if we maintain over that level, right, then watch for that move. If we turn 174 into support, I don't think there's much resistance here until this 180. There was a little bit of resistance here, which I'm sort of concerned about, right? I'm a little concerned about what happens at this little 177 level. I'm pretty sure this move on this day was news related, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm a little bit concerned about this high, this 177.38 high. I am going to just keep that on my level, on my charts to sort of, be aware of, just so I know I'm not trading it into this high that could reject. But overall, when I sort of zoom out, I'm looking to see if 174 holds. As long as 174 holds, then I am looking to see if this continues higher. Right, and I'm going to be monitoring this 177.38 and this 180. All right, 174, 177.38. Jobless claims. Any movement? Let's see. A little up, a little down. Jobless claims 242 versus 254. So less jobless claims. We'll see how the market reacts to it. Right now, I don't see anything. You guys let me know if something moves. But I don't want to waste time just staring at this chart. All right. So Tesla, once again, watch to see if 174. The best trade of the day is if you can get a pullback to 174. Right? That's your best long entry. It would be a break and hold above 174. If we can get a retest of that level, then that would be your greatest long entry. May not hold, but why do I say greatest long entry? Because risk reward is proper there, right? That's where your risk reward is proper. So let's see if we can get that 174 pullback. Netflix, man, oh man. Man, oh man. What a beautiful break and retest Netflix was yesterday. I mean, this is just textbook stuff. So we talked about this on the stream yesterday, right? Here's the schedule from yesterday, right? This is yesterday's schedule. I didn't update this. Netflix, 330 level. That was our last thing we talked about. We talked about TSM swing trade. We talked about the Google 119, 120. Amazon 113 was hot. That was very hot. NVIDIA 292, Tesla 165 hold. So these were our yesterday schedules. And Netflix 330. And man, do I sort of wish I caught this, because that was what we talked about, this previous triple top right here at Netflix 330. We talked about how it held here as well. We talked about the slow pullback right into that level and just a ridiculous wick. Ridiculous hourly candle wick right off that 330, and just an insane continuation here. So just another reason why I think the break and retest is so powerful, right? You can see it with your own eyes here. Previous triple top rejections turning into a very strong demand, right? This is where you go long after seeing it turn into demand, right? A previous rejection point where you were shorting off of, right? We were shorting off this level. After it breaks above, look at how it reacts. It reacts as a new support, right? And this is where you want to look to go long, right? This is where your risk reward is at its greatest. So beautiful, beautiful hold of that 330. Really nice upside move. But now, right, look where we're at. So today, the risk reward to the upside is gone, right? That is no longer there. You are at the big time rejection points on Netflix at 346, 350, right? So for me, to go long Netflix today, right, I'm going to need to see a move above probably 336 at the very, or 346 at the very least, and probably, to feel confident, a move over 350. And then I have to start to see, right, what do I want to start to see here at this 346, 350? I want to see this exact thing right here, right? So think about this level, this green box. Think about that as 350, right? And you can see if this is 350 and we're moving up into it, let's say this is 350, if I could mimic this price action right here, if I could mimic this price action right here and put it above 350, that is exactly what I want to see to take that long entry again, all right? So I am going to wait. I'm going to see if Netflix can start to maintain like it did right here over 330. I want to mimic this price action and put it right on top of these highs, right? That's what I want to see. So watch out for that. Watch out for 346, 350. That could be a supply rejection today. If you want to look for upside, you need to see acceptance above this level. All right? NVIDIA. I don't have much to say. It's just going up. It's just going up. It's not stopping. And congratulations. All I have to say is congratulations to those who bought shares of NVIDIA when it was down 70% from the highs. Congratulations to those that believe that dip buying was a good opportunity. It's up 180% from the lows. It's gone. It's gone. You guys know I'm the one-eyed shop NVIDIA bull. This has been nothing but a dream for my long-term and my shares. What a move. Insane. I don't know what to say about it. It's, yeah. I mean, we talked about this. NVIDIA is the future of the world. NVIDIA semiconductors is the future. We talked about this. If you're on the live stream, I don't want to get too into, saying that I was right, but this is it. I mean, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing semiconductors. People realize that without semiconductors, there's no such thing as the future, right? So semiconductors, I think, remain hot. I know there's the constant banter about how overvalued this is, blah, blah, blah. Sure, there's going to be pullbacks, but what is the future without semiconductors? There is none. So that was my thesis for buying these shares back here. That was pretty much the only reason. I said, if I can catch a stock like NVIDIA down 80, 70%, I know the future of this world is going to be focused around semiconductors. And I think that's sort of the vibe that you're seeing here on NVIDIA. You're just seeing the overperformance on semis. 150 shares at 125. Absolutely gorgeous margin call. Well done, man. So at this point, you're really just watching. At this point, you're really just watching short-term momentum. But here is one level I would watch. I would watch 314, right? 314. So right here, 314. That's a big level. That's a potential rejection point, right? NVIDIA extremely overvalued? Absolutely. I probably agree with you. But the market can stay. What's the word? What's the saying? The market can stay. The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. And that is very, very true. The market will stay irrational longer than you will stay solvent. I can guarantee it. You do not have enough money to fight a uptrend that NVIDIA is in. We will lose all of our money continuing to believe that NVIDIA should move lower because of valuation. It's not something that matters at the current moment on NVIDIA. It's too strong of an uptrend. You can't fight it. It's just, you can't fight it. You can't. So 314, right? 314, that's your next level. You can see right here. I agree with a lot of, bearish sentiment things that I see. I agree with a lot of it. But the reason that I don't respond off those is because I know that those ideas do not matter when we come into the market and we look at what the price action is showing us and we see what the market is doing, right? It's very difficult for some to put aside their personal beliefs and just look at what the chart is showing you, right? Trust me, I believe I side with a lot of these sort of concerning things going on with the world, with the market. I get it, but I can't let that come into my trading. I can't let that emotion enter into the trades that I take. I can't take trades based off those thoughts, because if NVIDIA is showing me what it is right now and I start trying to short the hell out of this thing, I'm just going to lose money, right? And I don't want to lose money. So what I would watch here is 314, right? Keep an eye on that 314 on NVIDIA. Besides that, guys, it's just short-term momentum you're going to have to watch. It's really just been in this nasty squeeze. After breaking above 290 on Tuesday, that was pretty much it, right? After this 290 break, I would just sort of watch these previous highs. So today, look for that 298. Maybe you look for that 300 psych level, right? Those are really just the short-term levels I'd watch. Maybe this 300 psych level, this 298 Tuesday highs, and that's really all you can do at this point, right? You just watch these short-term levels. So I think the best level to watch, if we just sort of talk about break and retest, the best next long entry is back right here, 298, right? That's your next long entry that I could get behind, is 298, previous Tuesday highs. If we get a pullback, see if that turns into support, all right? AMD, perfect, amazing hold of 100. Now, I took a loss on AMD yesterday. Well, so funny story yesterday in the Discord. I said I got into AMD calls, and I looked at my broker, and they did not get filled. I don't know why. I called Interactive Brokers, and they said it was some kind of bug. I don't know what their explanation was for it, because I've never had that happen. I pressed AMD calls. I didn't get filled, and it was a losing trade. If I would have got filled, I would have lost money on this trade. I got saved by Interactive Brokers not filling my position. I don't know how or why that happened, but we got a move under this 101.50. I was looking to long AMD off 101.50 yesterday, which was right here. So 101.50, I was looking to long right here. And so I started to see, if I go to the 1 minute chart, I started to see Actually, it's on the 2-minute. Oh, it's right here. So I started to see these wicks come up at 101.50, right? So I went long, or I attempted to go long at this 101.50. I pressed AMD calls, 100 calls, or 102 calls. I tried to long it here. I thought I was in the position, and then I look over at my broker, and I was not in the position. Would have been a loss. You can see a big flip to the downside. So it wasn't this 101.50 level. It was 100. So I misread that level a little bit yesterday. But look at this 100. The 100 level was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. You guys can see it right here. This is textbook definition break and retest. Textbook definition break and retest right here. Previous highs. Boom. Right? Break, retest. I mean, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. That is my strategy. If I could illustrate the strategy that I look to trade, this is it. It is right here. It is the previous highs turning into new support, right? And you can see we had a break, we had a retest, and where did AMD hold yesterday? If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see, look at that 100 hold intraday. It was almost too perfect to be true. And just from that point, straight up. So what are you looking for today? Right? The same setups there again. We're looking for it again. 103, 103.25. Right there. If we pull back and we hold this previous high, right? Then look to see if that holds, right? Look to see if that holds. If we pull back to 103, 103.25, previous day highs, right here, look to see if that holds. That's what I'd be looking for in AMD. All right. We went over NVIDIA. We went over AMD. Went over Tesla. Here's one I wanted to go over is Apple. I want to watch Apple today to see if it wakes up. That's really all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say watch to see if Apple wakes up today. Apple held that 170 low again. It held that retest level again. It's not been very strong with the market over the last few days, but there could be a wake-up call here, and I want to be a part of it if it happens. Google is one that channeled sideways, just like Apple's doing, and then broke out like this. I want to see if Apple has the same type of move and breaks out of this channel. So definitely just sort of monitoring Apple today. Going to watch this 174, 176 zone. All right. Google, I just want to point out this daily chart level on Google. Make sure you guys are aware of it. You guys can see right here, Google 123.26. Watch out for that 123.26. All right. 123.26 is a daily chart high here, and you are pushing right into it. So be careful of that right here. 123.26. If I go to the weekly chart, right, you can see, look how important this level is. If you break over this 123.26 on Google, I would very much anticipate more upside. If you break and hold above this weekly chart double top at 123.26, I would definitely anticipate more upside. All right, so watch that 123.26. That's going to be key here. All right. The other level that's very crucial that looks very similar to Google is Microsoft, 316. Microsoft double top on the weekly chart at 316. You are moving right into that level, 316 right here. Pay attention to 316 on Microsoft. If you break over this weekly chart 316, you are probably going to see continuation to the upside. So 316 Microsoft, major weekly chart level. Google, 123.26, major weekly chart level, right? Those look very similar. So watch out for that, right? Those are big. Okay. TSM, I absolutely love this trade. You guys know I'm in this swing trade. I'm up 140% as of right now. It's a next week expiration TSM call, $86, $89 call, I think is what I have. And I really like the looks of this flag. I am targeting these lows right here, right? I'm targeting this right here. I'm doing sort of a measured move, right? If we measure these upside moves, this was 37%. This was around 34, 35%. And if we take a move from low to high, 32% is right there. So if we make the same move we did here, like we did here, and I'm looking for the same move that we do here, right? 32%, 35% back into these lows. That's my target on TSM, 110, looking for that upside continuation, right? This is the same thing. This is the exact same thing that AMD just did, right? It's the same exact thing that AMD just did, and the measured moves are working beautifully, right? 46%, 46%, 35%, and right now 30% on AMD, right? It's the same pattern that you're seeing here on TSM, which is the same exact sector, right? It's the same sector. So I'm looking for this same thing, right? That's what I'm looking for. Is it too late? Guys, I said this in the Discord like 10 times yesterday. If I'm looking for 110, is it too late? I don't know. That's up to you. I'm looking for 110. I'm not going to recommend you get into anything. But I entered way early yesterday, so it's already pretty extended. But that's up to you. That's your call. Yeah, that's TSM. What do I want to go over? AVGO for you, Quentin. What's AVGO been doing? Yeah, damn. Oh yeah, we talked about this one yesterday. I would just watch out for this weekly chart high. This all-time high, really. Did I get in Lulu puts? No, I did not. Yeah, watch. That's a very nice wedge breakout, Quentin. But just sort of pay attention to this all-time high. That's pretty nasty up there. Watch out. What else? Snow's been pretty strong. Yeah, snow's sort of been creeping up here. If snow maintains over this little break and look at this break and retest snow's been on. You guys see these previous lows on snow at 167.50? Look at that hold right there. Right? Look at that hold right there. 167.50. Look at how snow sort of held above that 167.50. That's pretty nice on the daily chart. Watch out for that. ES is starting to approach 41.70. Yeah, this is going to be big. This is going to be big, right? If we break under this 41.70 today, guys, things can change. So make sure you're aware of that. Things can absolutely change. You're back under yesterday's highs. I would say look for the pullback to 13,630 on the Nasdaq and look to see if 41.70 holds. That is absolutely the top thing to be watching today. If you get back under 41.70 and you get back under 414 on the SPY, you have to be open-minded to both directions, okay? You have to be open-minded to both directions if you get under that 414 level on the SPY. This can absolutely roll over a little bit. So make sure you're aware of that. And that 4,200 is still above. That 4,200 is still above here. Yeah, we'll go over Meta real quick. Meta 242. This move on Meta has been just textbook technicals. It's really been just textbook technicals. Why? You can see it right here, right? Really strong demand, 230. What happens next? We turn 236 into demand. What happens next? We turn 242 into demand, right? This is just stair-stepping patterns to the upside. So we held 230, right? There was a long entry off that. What was the next level? It was 236. You guys can see in the short term, what did we do? We turned 236 into support, both on Monday and Tuesday, leading to the downside. And then you can see 242. That's your next level. That is the previous highs here. You have to hold above 242. If you get back under this 242, then things can pull back, right? This is a previous double top high at 242. So if Meta can maintain that 242, then I think you can see more upside, right? But if Meta falls back below 242, then you're sort of getting weak again, right? All right. I think that's it. It's 8:51. Big levels to watch today, guys. Keep an eye on that 41.70. Keep an eye on that 13.630. Those are big. If the Nasdaq breaks under this 630 level, I'd expect a little bit of weakness. If the ES moves under that 41.70, which it looks like it's coming down to pretty quickly, I would expect a little bit of weakness. So watch out for those, all right? Keep an eye on those levels. Don't panic. Don't freak out just because it's moving down with such pressure. Just keep in mind what you saw yesterday. I want everyone to take a look at yesterday morning, and I want you to look at what happened, right? You had a very scary, aggressive downside move into demand. And what did it do the rest of the day? It went straight up. So right now is when the chat starts to heat up. The chat starts to heat up. Oh my God, we're dropping. Oh my God, look at what's happening. We're going down. Oh my God, right? If this holds, it doesn't matter how quickly it comes down into that level, right? So I wouldn't say that this 4170 is as strong as this 4120, right? This demand is definitely a stronger demand than this right here. So I wouldn't say to trust the 4170 as much as I would trust the 4120. So just keep an eye on this 4170. I would even bring it down to this 65, this previous low from yesterday, right? 4165, 4170. Watch out for that. SPY 414.50, 414. Watch out for that. All right. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you could press that like button, I got to head over to the chat. It's getting late. Thank you again. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Good luck today. Be smart. Watch the technical levels. Watch the levels we talked about. They're going to be influential. Trade off them. Trade either side. Don't get stuck in looking for one direction. Be open to whether this level holds. Be whether it rejects, right? Stay open to any move that happens on this market. You have seen this over the last few weeks. It's been a wild market. Anything is possible. Big squeezes, big drops, demand holds, demand supply rejections. It's all possible. Anything is possible in this market. So stay open to all of the possibilities. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.